YouTube, it's your boy Alex, man, and we're back with another video. We got the Washington Wizards today. I'm gonna cover them. They're 2-18, just absolutely terrible. They're on a 16-game losing streak as of December 7th. So I'm gonna watch this video by Synthetic Sports. If you guys like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, man. And let's get right into it.
So the Wizards just wrapped up.
And bro, you know what the funny thing is, bro? Remember when Kuzma was talking so much crap to the Pistons last year? Like, you don't want to be that team, you don't want to be a team, and now it's coming back to bite them in the butt, bro. It's just so funny. But for real though, I hope the Wizards can really turn it around. They're my hometown team, being in the DMV. They just haven't been really able to really recover ever since that Bradley Beal John Wall trade. Just hopefully that they're able to get back on track, just develop the young guys properly, hopefully, and just maybe that they can just hire new management in terms of like coaching, GM, or ownership. So we'll see what happens to them in the next couple years, man, but it just doesn't look good right now.
End of like the John Wall, Bradley Beal era, the Wizards have just been a very poorly run franchise. I mean, John Wall dealt with a ton of injuries near the end of his Wizards tenure, eventually would join the Rockets in 2020, and instead of just taking that as a sign to just blow things up, just start over, they tried to make it work with Bradley Beal, who back in this time was still like, he was averaging 30 points a game, he was an all-star level player. Like, I guess I can kind of see where they were like, okay, let's try it one more time. But their efforts were to bring in Russ, which come on, guys.
I mean, he was pretty good for them that one season.
Yeah, Russ wasn't even that bad. It's just like he's just not the right fit, because he's just, it's tough to say because I'm not trying to hate on Russ. I love Russ's competitiveness, but he's just too turnover prone and he's just not efficient. It just is what it is. But he just wasn't going to be that guy for the Wizards that they needed in order to propel them to the next level. So
if you want to call it that.
It's just tough, man.
Beal, Kuzma, and Porzingis missed the playoffs in 2022, and that should have been the sign. Like, if you're not even making the playoffs in the East, it's time to blow things up.
Yeah.
But no, they gave Bradley Beal a 5-year supermax deal worth $251 million with a no trade clause on top of that, which is basically unheard of in the NBA.
Yeah, that Bradley Beal contract with the no trade clause was just so ridiculous. Like, the fact that they were even able to move him to Phoenix, that's impressive in and of itself. So I mean, I'll give them credit where credit's due on that part, but just why would you give a guy that you're paying that much money to in a situation where you know that you're not going to be able to win games a no trade clause? That just makes absolutely no sense. But
probably a pretty decent package. Instead, you wait too long, and in the couple years at like the end of the Wall Beal era, they're drafting. 2019, they took Rui Hachimura with the 9th pick, but, you know, they'd eventually trade him to the Lakers. 2020, Denny Advia at 9th. Again, solid player, but they just traded him to the Blazers. 21, Corey Kispert at 15. Decent player. And then in 22, Johnny Davis.
Yeah, and I wish they really developed Denny Advia. I mean, like, he was a solid piece. They just needed to give him minutes. Like, why? Bro, like, you're drafting players and you're not even giving them minutes. It's just so backwards.
And maybe got one of the better players, maybe got an Anthony Edwards, maybe Cade, maybe someone like that. But no, they're drafting guys late in the lottery, and that's basically what you get sometimes that late in the draft.
So that brings us to the past 2 seasons. They somehow managed to trade away Bradley Beal. They finally sent him off to the Phoenix Suns in a trade that jury's still out on whether it's going to work or not. It's definitely worked a lot better this season than it did last season, but they got back Chris Paul and a bunch of second-round picks, who they then flipped to Golden State and brought in Jordan Poole. They sent out Porzingis in a 3-team deal that got them back Tyus Jones. So you get rid of your 2 best players probably, and you replace them with Jordan Poole.
That's crazy. So you basically traded Bradley Beal, your franchise piece, for Jordan Poole and Tyus Jones, essentially. I mean, Tyus Jones, not a terrible player, solid, very solid point guard off the bench, but Bradley Beal for Jordan Poole, that's kind of tough, man. That's kind of tough.
Have like a bounce back resurgence with Draymond Green not in the locker room.
You know, it's funny when I was researching this.
And I guess it was just because of potential, I guess. I mean, if they could just get him to like at least be that, or show flashes of that level of shot creation that he was able to have in Golden State, and just that potential to be a star player that he was prior to the Draymond incident, then it would seem better. But I mean, it just
So like I said, the Wizards.
It's kind of developing that into that because Jordan is averaging career highs in points,
I don't know
rebounds,
what went wrong with
assists,
Detroit
and
last year.
steals.
Monty
But,
Williams' heart wasn't in it. They
know.
lose 28 straight games. So
Yeah, I
they
don't
didn't even
know.
get the worst
Still a
record.
pretty
They did get the
decent,
second pick in the
I guess,
draft.
now.
Took Alex Sarr. So that was something to look forward to. But this past offseason, the Wizards basically just jettisoned like any remaining solid players they had. I mean, they had already traded Daniel Gafford at midseason the year prior. Traded Denny Advia to Portland. Let Tyus Jones walk in free agency. You brought in Jonas Valanciunas and you got back Malcolm Brogdon as part of the Denny trade. And of course, you still got your French young guys and Sarr and Coulibaly, of course, right? So that's something to look forward to. I don't think anyone expected anything from this team this season, but it is impressive how bad they've been so far.
I guess they just want to build up international
draft
players.
pick. Dude
It's just
clamps
like-
up people.
Bro, that's the same
Defense
thing with my
and
Knicks, man. We
offense
could have got
better this
so
year.
many
Sarr is disappointing.
good,
It's still
solid
super early. I'm
pieces
not
over
gonna
the
write
last
him
couple
off.
years,
Yeah.
but
I
we're
mean, I
just
still got
drafting
hope for
international
Scoot.
players.
I'm not
which
writing
is
him
actually
off. So
no,
Sarr's still a teenager.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just
But
tough, but
Sarr,
hopefully
even though
Alex
it
Sarr
was
is
a
able
weak
to actually
draft, he
develop
was seen as
into
the
being
first
a
overall pick for
decent
like
big
much of the
man,
summer,
but
even like the whole NBA
yeah,
season.
he's just a
people were saying, like,
teenager and
Sarr-
he's
Yeah,
just-
Reese Shea was a late riser.
I guess
Yeah,
it's just
they were saying
inexperience so
Sarr.
far
I mean, I know
getting
they were
close
only
to the
saying it because
NBA
he's
level.
French, but they're like,
We'll see if he
another
develops
Wemby,
into
you know,
the
another French
piece that
big.
the Wizards
He's
hopefully
mobile,
think
you
that
know
he's going to
everything.
be. for them.
Dude, his shooting has just not been there, and I get they want to tank for Cooper Flag. They want to capture the flag. They want to bring in this next great prospect, so that's why they're so bad. But there's no signs of life. There's nothing to really like have hope for on this roster besides maybe Coulibaly. And even then, he's more of a piece to a contending team. 2-17 at the time of this recording. They just wrap up no-win November. That's happened 16 times in NBA history where a team hasn't won a game in a month. Last time it's happened, believe it or not, February 2024.
Bro, the
Somewhat
Wizards are on
recently.
pace to
It was the-
honestly
I mean,
just
twice
they
in the
might
span of
actually
10
be
months,
worse than
and
the
there was,
nine
what, like 3
when
months where
Charles
games
was
weren't-
Charles
weren't
brought that to
happening.
them.
Something that's only
They
happened
are on
16
pace,
times
and
in the
that's
history of
kind
the
of
league. It's a bad
that's saying
record,
a
and the
lot
Wizards have
because
done it
they had a
twice in less
lockout,
than
I
a
think,
year.
too.
No
so-
win November. I mean, some people do.
It's just
no
looking
shave
very bleak
November.
in Washington.
Some people do
so
no nut November.
Right.
We'll see what
We were
happens.
recording this before their game against Dallas on Thursday. We're just going to make a safe bet that Dallas knocks them off. Even if they don't, though, still, this has been a historically bad start to the season. Like, they're on a 15-game losing streak right now. The only 2 wins they have this season are back-to-back wins against Atlanta in early October. So technically, they've only beaten 1 team this season.
Crazy.
They haven't even beaten 2 teams. They've only beaten Atlanta. And this blew my mind when I was looking at the Basketball Reference page. Every single loss
That's
this
crazy,
season,
bro.
except
They've only
for
beaten
one,
the
has
Hawks
been by
this year,
double
so they've
digits.
only
and the
beaten
only
one
loss
team.
that was by single digits was against San Antonio, and they lost by 9.
I mean, that's the thing. The Pistons team last year, I don't care. They were better. I
Yeah,
think
they absolutely were.
I think the Pistons were better than the Wizards last
Bro.
year because at least the Pistons,
That's
it kind of felt like they were
crazy.
getting
So they've
unlucky.
only
Like,
beaten
remember
the
that Celtics
Hawks
game
this
they choked
year, and
the
the
lead?
only
There was, like,
win
overtime games.
or
There were
loss, I
close
mean,
games.
There was signs
that
of
was at
life.
least
There's no
under
signs of life
double
here. Like,
digits
they
was
are
the Spurs by
historically
9
bad. They're
points.
scoring
That's
107
just
points per game. They're giving up
that total
almost
margin of
123
victory is crazy,
for a
bro.
point differential of 15.8 points a night. Worst of all time at the moment. The previous worst was the 93 Mavericks.
By the
That
opposing
won
team, I mean,
11
total
games.
margin
And then the Mavs that
victories.
season as a whole got
They're
outscored
just
1,246
yeah, dude,
points. The
so
Wizards right now are on
bad,
pace for
Washington, bro.
1,451 points
They're
being
on,
outscored.
they're on pace to smash the
Yeah, that's not even
all-time
close.
point differential record. They
Yeah,
might
they
finish
about
with the
to
worst record
shatter
in
that
NBA history. I
Dallas
mean, they only
record, bro.
need 9 wins to beat the 2012 Bobcats. Personally, I think they'll pick up the 7.
Yeah, the point
wins that they
differential,
need
point
somewhere.
differential, yeah,
I
by
mean, their
the
schedule so far this
opposing
year has been
team.
pretty
That's
tough.
kind of what
They'll
I'm trying
play
to
like the Pelicans or
indicate, but-
something, or some other bottom-feeding team and get hot. And they'll pick up 7 wins somewhere, I think. It's certainly on the table.
There's
though,
no
still. The
way
Pistons'
that they're
28-game
gonna
losing streak,
lose
that's
Oh, yeah.
also on the
29
table 'cause
straight
their
games.
upcoming
There's no
schedule,
possible
Dallas,
way. I mean, there is a
Denver,
way. I mean, they're on
Memphis,
pace to do it
Cleveland.
right
They
now,
got
but
some
there's no.
tough games coming up. Someone worked it out though.
That's gonna be
Apparently, the
crazy if they
game where
actually
would
do it, though.
potentially,
They
if
should.
keep
They need to
losing,
have
they
the
would potentially
nationally
set the record is on the road
broadcasted,
at Philadelphia.
nationally
So-
televised
What a night
game
that-
for that
Can we get that one on
28th
TNT?
loss and that 29th loss.
Make a schedule
Have a
change.
national
Everybody
television,
needs
see
to
it.
be
Let's do that.
watching. They
That's
do
been
have
crazy.
like the Pelicans twice coming up. They have a couple against the Hornets. We'll see how LaMelo's health is doing. That could be it, but I don't know. They might do it. And like beyond that, just looking at the team for like the future, what is there to be excited about? Bilal Coulibaly, his offense has been better. Clamps up people on defense. Sure, he's good. Sarr's been super underwhelming. I mean, dude shooting 37.7% from the field.
as a 7-footer.
Dude,
Scoot
what
Henderson, who
as a Wizards
everyone was
fan,
flaming, was
what
shooting
is there to be
38.5.
excited about
Yeah.
for this team for
Why
the
is Sarr
foreseeable
shooting
future
4.5
in
threes
terms
a
of being
game?
competitive?
He's
Because
shooting 24.5%
your best chance of
from
going
three.
to the
Like, he's
finals, or
shooting
at least East
48% from
Conference
two,
Finals,
which
is
isn't
when you
even
had
that good for a
John
7-footer.
Wall and
It's
Bradley
actually
Beal.
pretty
So
bad,
I
but it's
mean,
at least
other
close to
than that,
50%. His shooting
what
percentage is
is
just
there
being
to be
dragged
excited
down by
about
the
for
fact that
this
he keeps
team? I
chucking
mean,
up threes.
Alex
We said
Sarr
earlier,
doesn't
Sarr
look
and
like he's
Koulibaly,
going to
they're
be
super
that
young,
guy
they
for
get
them
minutes,
right
right?
now. I mean,
Outside of
he might
those two, I
develop to
mean,
be
you got
that
Corey
guy, but
Kispert,
just
who,
right
you know,
now,
he's a solid role player
I
on a
don't
good
really
contract,
see
but
it.
he's
And
not shot
Jordan
well this
Poole, I mean,
season.
do you expect
Bub
him to be the number
Carrington,
one
who
scorer
was
option
just
for
a
you? So
throw-in
it's
with
just
the
like,
Denny Advia trade, like
bro,
9
it's
points per
just
game,
looking so
40% shooting
bleak.
for a
But
rookie. It's not awful for a
hopefully,
14th pick
man,
in the
hopefully
draft.
they can
And
get
then
a
outside of
GM
him,
change, and hopefully,
Brogdon and Jonas Valanciunas,
yeah,
who
get a GM
get a heavily protected
GM
first
trade.
for
What
Brogdon,
am I even
maybe,
trying to
and
say?
Maybe.
2
G
seconds for
front office
Valanciunas.
Yeah,
general
that's
manager
about the
change
market. And then you
that
got
is
Jordan
able
Poole
to
and
make some
Kuzma.
decent
I mean, it
trades,
feels
at
like
least
Kuzma's been
draft
linked
some
to
decent
trades for 2
players, and hopefully
seasons
be
now,
able
and
to
I
turn
don't,
this
the
around
roster. I
there.
don't think people really want
So
him.
at least they're
And if you
not
tried to
being
trade Jordan
this
Poole, you're sending out
pitiful.
more
That's
with
what I'm
him
trying
than
to
you're
say.
getting back. I mean, will they break the record for least wins in a season? Maybe. The Pistons losing streak and the point differential like records, I think they're hitting at least some of those.
Okay.
Maybe like 2 of the 3 or something.
If they hit 2 of those 3, they're the worst team in NBA history. If they hit all 3, they're undeniably the worst. If they hit 2 of the 3, I think you got a strong argument.
And like for watching a tanking team these past few years, like at least the Blazers, our team showing signs of life.
Yeah.
This Wizards team is like 2 or 3 years away from that. Unless they get Cooper Flag, I don't know. This team, it's looking dark as a Wizards fan. At least they got Jane Daniels and the Commanders
Yeah, exactly.
balling out because this is ugly.
That's the video.
Yeah, at least us Washington people, that we at least have the Commanders to watch, so that they at least have something to root for. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys liked today's video, man. Make sure to like, subscribe down below if you do, and I'll see you next one. All right, peace out, man.